Hi friends, in this IBM BPM tutorial, we are going to learn about the basic what is the business process management. We will also see what are the benefits when we use any automation tool such as a IBM BPM and when we develop some custom Java program for creation of workflow. After that, we will also see what are the industry-wide BPM tools. Then we will see how IBM provides licensing in BPM, like there are different type of licensing are there. And then at the last, we will see architecture of IBM BPM. Okay. So BPM stands for the Business Process Manager. Okay. And this product, as name it says, okay, this product is used for the all the automation of the business process, any sort of business process. So as we know, in business process is more like as a workflow. Okay, so any workflow, any type of workflow, if we want to automate, we can use this tool. Okay, so what is workflow and how it is involved? So if you see in any industry group, like I say, whether it's banking or insurance, okay, or any like manufacturing or automobiles, okay, any industry group, if we see, there must be a process, there must be a workflow. Okay, so for even HR implementations, so let's talk about the banking or insurance. In banking, suppose they have many products, like to provide credit card to people, to buy, to provide home loan to people, to provide a personal loan to people. Same way for insurance, to provide different insurance policies. Okay, same way for manufacturing, the process will be how any product is getting manufactured using different ways. Okay, like first it will go to one process. When that is completed, it will go to another process. When that is complete, it will go to another one. So then finally the product will be manufactured. Same way for automobiles. Okay, when in any automobile will go through the different stages, and the automobile will come into the road. Okay, similar way. So it's like in each industry group there will be multiple processes which will involve workflow, and in that workflow, okay, there will be, as the name itself says, workflow means there will be many actors. Okay, and which those actors will be doing some sort of activities, and finally they performed a complete work. Okay, so if you see over here, that is called as a process, or I can say as a business process. So if you see, suppose let's take the example of a credit card. Okay, so if I have to provide a credit card to my customer, it is not like only one person is doing the whole credit card thing. Okay, so it will be different steps will be involved. Like first step will be I need to come to other, if the one way is like I can through online, through mobile or through web, I'm uploading my information, like I want a credit card and uploading my information. Or what I can do, I can go direct to the bank, and I can go to front desk, and I can check what are the documents are needed, and I can provide all of my documents, relevant signatures to front desk people. So as I see, in the whole credit card process, the first thing will be I need to provide, or from the bank side, collect all required documents. Okay, okay, this work will be done by some front desk guy. Okay, in or otherwise, if I can say, if I do not want to go do like this, another way is I can upload. Okay, same thing is there, upload all the documents. in system. Okay, fine. Now after this, once all the documents are taken, then might be in the within the bank, there might be some sort of a group who will review our documents, whether all the documents are proper or not, whether any document is missing. Okay, so I will say that, like I said, the next thing it could be, okay, review documents. Before we process further, I want to review if any document is missing. Okay, then we need to check with the get it up by the customer, then only the review thing will be completed. Okay, so if you see, the review thing might be done by some other people. Okay, reviewer. Okay, similar way, once review is done, then might be what I can do in, I want to check all the credit history of a person. Okay, whether how his credit history is within the bank, whether in the last 6 months any check has been bounced. Okay, or what is his credit history in some other banks also, what is his credit history with the credit union, what is his credit score overall. So I want to analyze all the things, so I can keep it over here, check credit history. Okay, and then it might be this thing, because this thing I might not need any person. Okay, I can write some sort of a programs. What those programs will do, they will, because my everybody's each account will be uh, um, will have some unique account number. So with that account number, or it will be associated in India as a PAN card number. Okay, so that means all bank will have PAN card number. So with that PAN card number or with that account number, they can directly go to check in the table and get, okay, what was my credit history in the last 6 months. PAN card number might be useful when they want to check my history in some credit union and through some credit score. Okay, so through this, I don't need any human intervention. Okay, so these things I can write a Java program that will connect to database, or through web service call it will connect to some third-party system and get the details. Okay, so this thing I can say it can be done via system. Okay, system written programs. Then after that, I have all the documents which are needed. I got the credit union score also. I got within the bank score also. Now I'm assigning the whole thing to some other guy that is a loan person. What he will do, he will see all the things and he will finally approve or reject according to the all the information credit card. Okay, and this thing is done by loan manager. Okay, and finally, suppose the credit card is approved or rejected, finally email or through mail, it will be sent to the person whether your credit card is approved or rejected. So I can say there's something called, I will give as an email notification. Okay, and again, I don't need any person to send an email and all. I can directly configure his email over there and can write Java program. So it can be also done via system. Okay, so if you see this whole thing where we have different activities, and once those activities are done by some actors, okay, finally some logical work is done, logical work is completed. So such type of thing we call as a business process. Okay, and in this business process, okay, so business process is nothing, as we learned, it is a collection of activities, okay, which once performed together, okay, completes a logical task. Okay, so like that, same way we discussed about a credit card. So it's a very basic process. Now in bank for approving the credit card, they might have some more activities. Okay, so your activities can be lesser or can be more. Okay, but business process will be the same. It's a combination of multiple activities. Okay, now these active, so now we got it. business process is a combination of activities. These activities can be two types. If I will broadly write, okay, it can be human activity, okay, and second one will be a system activity. Okay, so this human activity and system activities, here also we can see human activity where some person, for human activities, what we need to do, human activities, some person need to be involved. So in human activity, there must be some screen, okay, and some person need to be involved to do the task. So it means task will be assigned to some person or some users or some group of users. Okay, sometimes a reviewer may not be a single person, it can be a group of users also. Okay, so human activities will be performed by some users or some group of users, and there must be some sort of a screen where they will get all the input data, and on top of that they will be able to take some decision. Okay, so wherever the human activities will be involved, there must be some screen, and there for some time, okay, your process will halt. Okay, because whenever the task is assigned to any person, it might not be possible immediately he will do everything. So there must be some moment of time the process will be halted till the point a person will log into the system, he will check all the input details, and he will update with his own comments. Once he submit his task, again it will be assigned to some other person. Okay, so this is the human activities. The second activity is called as a system activity. Okay, system activity is such type of activity which is performed by the system itself. So in this activity, there is no need of any screen development, because automatically all the input thing will be taken care by a program. Okay, and no need process to halt. Okay, so whenever a task will come to system activity, system itself will perform that thing in fraction of second, and it will complete that job. Same way, if you see over here, email, when the loan either is approved or reject, it will come to the email notification. Automatically it will get all the data, like to whom the mail has to send. It will get from input, and directly the email will be shoot to that person. Okay, so whenever remember, if I talk about the business process, so as we discussed, in business process, I should always need to remember it should be activity, okay, and it should be actors. Okay, fine. Now let's discuss about, before coming to this, such type of a business process what we have discussed. Can we do we really need a tool called as a BPM? Okay, or can we develop some because what BPM will do, okay, let me talk, we discussed about what is a business process. Okay, and now the question comes, how to automate a business process. What is the meaning by automation? So automation means, if you see the same thing, okay, it can be a different like for collecting the documents, I might have a different URL. Okay, for approving and rejecting document, I might have a different URL. Okay, these things are some different. So what BPM will do, and what automation of business process will be done, okay, what is the meaning of this? It's like everything will be automated and everything will be done in a consistent way. Okay, so BPM will provide a consistent URL, okay, where all the tasks will be completed, okay, according by different actors, okay, according to their access. Okay, you don't need to send any emails, because sometime we have to send some email to perform some task. Sometime we have to send some physical mails. Okay, sometime we have to do some task in a file, so we don't need to do anything. BPM will provide a consistent URL, okay, where everyone will log in, all the actors, okay, and they will log in with their own access. And when the task is assigned to them, they will just open that task, they will work on that task, and once it is submitted, it will be assigned to somebody else. Okay, so rather than completion of task by one, okay, what the whole credit card process will have one URL, okay, one consistent URL where everybody will log in. Everyone will have their own login ID. Okay, login ID is needed for their own access, because I do not want reviewer to approve a loan. Same way, I do not want a front desk person also to approve a loan. Same way, I do not want a loan manager to I do not want him to upload all the documents to the system. So all these groups or users will have different user IDs, okay, and according to their user ID, they will have access to do only that sort of job. Once they complete their job, automatically the job will be assigned to some other person. They will log into with their user ID and password, okay, and they will perform their task, and then it will go to third person. Okay, so what BPM normally does, BPM will automate all the tasks, okay, it will give a consistent URL, and where all the different actors, they can perform this, they can perform the whole, can perform their own task, okay, and finally the whole process will be completed. Okay, now let's talk about what are the other benefits of the BPM. I got it. One benefit is I will get a consistent place to perform all activities. Okay, second thing is what it will do, it will provide you, it provides help in reporting. Okay, reporting is something which is very much important when we work in a business process, because reporting help senior leadership to take some sort of a decision. Suppose in credit card process itself, okay, now process is running, everything is fine, but senior leadership wants to improve its revenue in credit card. Okay, it wants to give more credit card. Okay, when it wants to give more credit card, he wants to get the information, okay, in the last year, okay, in United States, from different part of United States, okay, how much credit card processed in each branch. Okay, they want this detail. Okay, so we can get this detail. I can just query and I can get the details and I can get the number of counts. Okay, but a senior manager, a senior leadership, they might not be able to see. Okay, if you just give a data in a tabular form in some database table, they will not be able to figure it out. Okay, so what they actually want, they want some sort of a data in some sort of a pie chart. Okay, some sort of a bar graph where they can compare in each year, okay, how much credit cards are processed to each branch. Okay, then they will be able to take a decision. Okay, might be in the western region our sales was not good, but in eastern regions the sales was good. They can find it out what was the reason for that, and they can provide some sort of a discount or some sort of other services to boost up the sales. But for that, reporting is very much important. Okay, so normally what we do in our regular programs, we normally write some complex queries. Okay, and then we use some sort of a reporting tools like I say IBM Cognos or Bult reporting or Crystal reporting, where we need to write some SQL queries, and after that we have to develop different custom reports. Again, it becomes a very difficult job. Okay, so what it does, BPM itself provides some inbuilt reporting. Okay. So in like not all the use cases, but some use cases are covered in inbuilt reporting. Suppose such type of reporting, I'm owning a credit card process, okay, and in the process itself, I'm finding it customers are complaining, like our credit card takes more time, but in other banks it process only in 1 week, but in this bank it is getting processed in 3 weeks. Okay, so as a owner of this credit card process, I want to know, okay, how much time is taken by each activity. Okay, because if you see there are a lot of activities are there, means who is the person who is not able to do his task in his own given time. Okay, or means what are the things which we can improve within the process itself. Okay, so what I want over here, like okay, so I want some sort of a report where I could see time completion of each task. Okay, as a loan manager, so that I could instruct to that person, okay, why your productivity is not much, and here if you could reduce this time, okay, we can process our credit card in a faster way. So such type of report where, or I can see, or as a loan manager, because each activity will have, I can provide some particular time, like every person has to complete their own activity within 2 hours. Okay, if it is more than 2 hours, the task will automatically go to critical state. Okay, and I should be able to know, I'm a loan manager, okay, not loan manager, I'm the owner of this process. I should be able to do whether reviewer is able to complete his all tasks within the given time or not, how many tasks are there for him in critical state or red state, how many tasks are there for loan manager in red state. Okay, then I will be able to analyze, okay, who is doing his job in more efficient way. Okay, so such type of reports, okay, where we need to see how many tasks are uh, are going properly, okay, according to their deadline, how many tasks are past their deadlines. Okay, so everything, so such type of reportings, a basic reporting is provided over there. Okay, in BPM you don't need to configure any other reporting tool. So that's one advantage, suppose. But again, if you get some sort of a custom reporting also, BPM, IBM has another tool called as a BAM. Okay, it is called as a business activity monitor. Okay, so this BAM is normally used for the all custom sort of reporting. Okay, fine, that's another advantage. It helps us to report. There are a lot of inbuilt reports which people can look into that. Okay, we don't need to go for any other reporting engine. Okay, third thing is SLAs. Okay, service level agreement. What is SLA? SLA is something like, okay, so SLA means as a product owner, as a process owner, what I did, I want timed each activity. What I was discussing in the last topic, when I want to time each activity, I want to give some sort of a SLA. Okay, each activity should should have this much time to complete. Okay, so if the SLA is breached, automatically I am getting email. Okay, it's like as an automated email, so that I will be able to know, okay, loan manager, when he was doing the approval and rejection of the loan, in 1 month it breached 10 SLAs, so I can take some action against him. Okay, so such type of SLAs can be built in BPM. It provides a mechanism to build SLA, where SLA, some automated email or some other things we can do. Sometime in SLAs, what we want, suppose loan manager is not able to complete their job in given time, so automatically the task will go to some sort of a senior managers. Okay, so those managers will only work on the task which already went to the red state. Okay, so that they will be able to finish those tasks in some lesser time. Okay, fine. So SLS you can do. Then easy way of user screen design. Okay, we will see this when we start doing the hands-on. Okay, so here easy way of user screen design. So we don't need to design a screen by writing a code of table and JSP. Okay, so BPM provides some very good widgets. Okay, inbuilt widgets which you can just directly drag and drop, and you can create screens. Okay, those screens must be used for uh, human services, human activities. Okay, along with that, okay, so we discussed about SLAs, we discussed about this. Then easy integration with different tools. Okay, so if you see, when we talk about BPM, business process management, okay, there are a lot of other things are also involved. Like there might be some different tools in our company, in our enterprise we maintain, like I say, which is a rule engine. Okay, when we talk about the business process, so in different activities we perform different rules. Okay, so sometimes those rules are stored in some different engine. Okay, so we have to make connections. So what BPM will do, BPM has very easy integration with different, like as a rule engine. There is a IBM product also for creating the rules, we call it as a ODM. Okay, or WODM, WebShare Operational Decision Manager. So you can directly connect with ODM. Okay, when we talk about the BPM, sometimes we need to store different documents of the customers. Okay, and we cannot store all the documents in database. So there are some document store tools are there. Like as you know, the very popular tool is Documentum. Okay, and one more tool is called as a FileNet. Okay, so there is a very easy integration with these tools also, Documentum or FileNet. Okay, then another advantage of the same business process. Okay, you can expose whatever the business process you are writing, okay, as a SOAP or REST API. So that is also very good feature. Okay, suppose that I created a business process, okay, and that business process somebody else wants to use, or from some external system, okay, some request is coming. Okay, and then our business process is getting started. So what I can do, I can expose the business process as a SOAP through WSDL, or I can also expose as a REST API. Okay, so these are the advantages which makes this tool very much popular. But again, these advantages will be there in most of the BPM tool. Okay, it is not uh, only with IBM BPM. So all the BPM tool will definitely provide all these uh, benefits compared to when we do the normal automation. Normal automation means when suppose you are not doing using IBM BPM, at that point you will use some sort of a, you can also develop a tool using Java or .NET. Okay, where we can create some custom application. Okay, and here and that in that custom application we need to create a workflow engine. Okay, we need to create all the screens, all the activities, but same application what BPM does, we can also do using the Java or .NET technologies. Okay, and we were doing, even not now, around 7 to 8 years back, all the workflow, all these things, normally it were developed via the Java and .NET technologies. But the problem with this in Java and .NET technologies, it takes more time. If the same credit card process what we have discussed, if I have to create using Java, and if I take only one resource, okay, and if he has to work, it will take minimum to minimum 1 month of time to create a sample business process, okay, which will have all the screens, which will have all these activities, okay, and it will take minimum 1 month time. But if you do the same thing using some BPM tool, okay, similar work will be like, it will not take more than 1 week to develop this process, or sometime it will take minimum, I took 1 week very much. It will not take more than 1 day to implement such type of a business process if the person is a good BPM developer. Okay, so what is happening basically, your time is getting saved. Along with that, you are getting all these benefits. Those benefits are not there when you create your own Java based application. Okay, so the main thing which comes to the time, so whenever we use any BPM application, it helps to save time. Along with that, it helps in reporting, it helps in SLA creations, it helps in user screen design. Okay, so there are a lot of features are there which are provided via any BPM tool. Okay, so that is the reason we don't go a Java or custom based application. But anyway, if any company wants to go for any custom application, they can go ahead. There's no need to use any BPM tool, though. If what a BPM tool does, everything can be achieved by writing a Java application. Okay, so till now we discussed what are the benefits, what is a BPM, we discussed what is a business process management. Okay, we discussed business process in that, and then we discussed about benefits of using BPM tool compared to normal Java application. Okay, fine. Now let's talk more about what are the different tools are there in the market. Okay, so as you know, from IBM side, the BPM tool is called as IBM BPM. Okay, then Oracle also has a tool that we call as Oracle BPM. Same way, we have other tool like there is a JBoss side, we call as a JBPM. Then the main tool, okay, that is from the Pega, okay, for BPM, that is called as a Pega. That tool itself called as a Pega, through Pega, via Pega company. Okay, then we have another, there is some other tool called as a IBM BPM. Okay, and there are many other tools are there, but mostly Pega, IBM BPM, these are the, or JBoss BPM, these tools are very popular. On here if I say, in all the BPM implementation, whatever is there in the world, I can say 60% still Pega is a market leader. IBM, I can put it around 25 to 30%. Okay, and rest all 15%. Okay, all the not 15, around 25%. All the tools are there in the market, like IBM BPM, 5%, 10%. That much market share they are having. Okay, so these are the different. Along with that, there are some other tools are there, but those tools are not very much popular. These tools, IBM BPM, Pega, IBM BPM, Oracle, and these tools are only more popular. Okay, fine. Let's talk about, this is very much important to understand IBM BPM evaluation of BPM tool. Okay, because people normally get confused with different names. When we are new to BPM, we come across different names. Somebody will talk about the process designer, Somebody will talk about the integration designer. Somebody will say as a Lombardi, if still people are seeing. Somebody will say as a process server. And if you are not from IBM background, we are not able to, at start, all these names are very much confusing. Okay, so to understand all these things, we must have to understand how this BPM tool got evolved. Okay, so BPM tool, okay, okay, so how this BPM tool evolved. Okay, first this BPM tool was not there in the market at that point. Around 2007 and 2008, there were two market leaders. Basically, it was the Pega and IBM. Pega has its own tool, and IBM has a tool called as a, we call that tool as a, everybody in popular way, WebSphere process server. Okay, because it was the tool from the WebSphere family, so it was called as a WebSphere process server. And this tool from IBM, WPS or WebSphere process server. This tool name was also a little bit confusing, because as you know, each tool will have a development environment and will have a runtime environment. Okay, so as you know, for Eclipse, if we write any program, okay, so Eclipse is a runtime environment, and when we run that program, then we can use any server. Okay, so sometimes we can run the same application in WebSphere application server, or sometimes we run that application in Tomcat Apache server, or sometimes we run in JBoss server. So that for runtime there can be any server. Same way for the development also, sometimes we use Eclipse as a development environment, sometimes NetBeans, sometimes RAD, sometimes some other tool. So for each tool there are two ways, two things. One is a development environment, second one is a runtime environment. So same way for this tool WPS, okay, the development environment called as a environment was called as a WID. Okay, the name stands for WebSphere Integration Developer WID. Okay, that is a development environment. Okay, for this only, this tool only, WPS, runtime environment was called as a WPS or process server. So you create your applications or processes in WID, okay, but you are running your processes in WPS. That says stand for the WebSphere process server. Okay, but in normal terms, when we say this tool as a WPS. That's a normal way of talking. But WPS is a runtime environment. That was the server. Okay, and sometimes people will say this tool as a WID also. Whether you have worked in WID or not, it's the same thing. Okay, so we have to understand in this way. Now, after 2007 and 2008, what happened? IBM started its market share in BPM market. Okay, and the reason was why IBM started losing market share in BPM, because this tool, WPS tool, has few uh, benefits, few advantages, and few disadvantages also. Advantages of this tool was, okay, it's a good tool, very efficient tool, but the problem with was, first let's talk about the disadvantages, okay, or I can say shortcoming. I should not say disadvantage. Some limitations or shortcomings, I can say. The limitation was human screen design was quite tough. Was very tough. Okay, there was no inbuilt, okay, widgets for human screen designs. Okay, so whenever it comes to human service implementation or human screen design, okay, WPS was not good at all, because every time you have to design using a custom JSP and HTML, okay, because normally a process developer, a BPM developer, he might not come from a web application background or front-end background. So for him, designing a human screen was very tough, and that was one of the reason. And second thing, it was WPS was based on Eclipse framework. Okay, so what was happening in due to this framework? People can work, but only developer can work. So sometimes, because if it's a BPM tool has to work with different activities, and it has to come, it has to work in such a fashion so that the whole in BPM, the complete enterprise is involved, because you are getting things from one department, then you go to other person, then you go to other person. Okay, so it's like in the completion of one complete business process, almost all the departments are getting integrated. Okay, so sometimes what I want are people who know business very well. They should be able uh, they should be able to do this, like suppose a person who knows business very well, he should be able to log into BPM environment. Okay, and in the BPM environment, he should be able to uh, not able to design, but he should be able to understand what is happening in BPM, what are the different processes are there, what are different activities, how much activity, what each activity is doing. But in Eclipse framework, it was not easy to see. So these are the two main limitations of WPS. Okay, not, I can say, not very much user friendly, or I can say business user friendly. Okay, fine. So so this is the thing with WPS. Okay, I will just hold on for 2 minutes. I will get a water and will come. Hello, hello.
Yes. I
Yeah,
was
just
on
give me
mute.
two
Yeah,
minutes.
sure.
You can also take water.
Yeah, okay.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so we were discussing about the WPS, okay, and its limitation and shortcomings, but in the same time, Pega, okay, and uh, advantages of WPS are it was coming from the IBM family. So as we know, IBM has a very good integration tools like IBM integration bus or IBM data power, okay, which where IBM has almost so many adapters to connect to different systems like as a CBEL, SAP, PeopleSoft. Okay, so all the inbuilt adapters are there. So what advantage of WPS was it has adapters to integrate to any type of system and services. So it was very good in integration, but not good in human screen design. Human screen design was not good in WPS, but integrations was very good because it has got so many adapters. But Pega, if you see, Pega was good in very good, very user friendly, very so quickly we can design. Okay, and it in integration wise it's not that good, but comparatively it's good. Okay, not as good as WPS. Okay, fine. So if we see at this point, uh, because in process implementation, we don't need too much integration. But yes, in process implementation, we need lot of human screens. That's why the WPS started losing market share. And then what IBM did, IBM acquired a product called as a Lombardi. Okay, so this Lombardi product, it was as good as Pega. Okay, it was very user friendly, and it but the limitation was Pega was also it didn't have so many adapters. Okay, so what it did, IBM did, it acquired Lombardi. Okay, and it clubbed both products, Lombardi plus WPS. Okay, so because Lombardi did not have many adapters, so they borrowed all the adapter from WPS. So they clubbed these two products and they gave the name of club product as a IBM BPM. Okay, that is nothing, it is a combination of Lombardi plus WPS. Okay, now first version they came as a WLE. They started as a WebSphere Lombardi edition. Okay, let's say that we called as a WLE. It came as a 7.2 version. Okay, it came around 2010. Okay, then each year they come up with different versions. After the first version came IBM BPM 7.5. Okay, it came around 2011. Then after that it came IBM BPM 8.0. Then it came IBM BPM 8.5. Then it came IBM BPM 8.5.5. Then IBM BPM 8.5.6, and current is the latest one, that is a 8.5.7. Okay, so each year they come up with new versions. Okay, but overall it's the main functionality, the core functionality is still the same, but was there in 7.5 and 8.0. Okay, few features are added in each versions. Okay, now how it will work, we clubbed these two tools, but how it's working. So when they club both these two tools, then they came up with different terminology. They came up with two versions, IBM BPM standard, okay, and IBM BPM. I can discuss this as a licensing of IBM BPM. IBM BPM standard and IBM BPM advanced, and one licensing comes as a IBM BPM express. Okay, so IBM BPM standard, okay, it only have process designer, Okay, no support to integration designer. Okay, so okay, here what IBM did when they integrated these both tools, okay, what they did, I will just explain over here. IBM BPM, they changed name. Okay, Lombardi was changed, the name of Lombardi was changed to process designer. Okay, and the name of WPS changed to integration designer. Okay, but this process designer and integration designer both are having the development environment. Okay, but runtime environment for both, it was called as it is the WPS only process server. Okay, so here same similar thing. If in discussing about the WPS development environment called as a WID, so WID name changed to IAD in place of website integration developer. It became as a IBM integration designer. Okay, runtime environment is also WPS for this, and runtime environment for Lombardi also became as a WPS. Okay, but the name changed, development environment to process designer. Okay, so the new terminology was process designer and integration designer. Okay, so as we know, what was the advantage? Now any normal process you will develop using the process designer, because it is very easy to develop a process, a human screen. But whenever you need any complex integration, like as an adapter integration or any sort of a complex integration, those you will be doing with the integration designer. And since you are running both processes in process server, so it's like as a very closely integrated, that we will see when we will do the some sort of a hands-on. Now IBM thought, because these two are the two different tool altogether which they have combined, so what IBM thought, how we can how we can sell these two tools under one umbrella. Then they came up with the licensing policy. Licensing policy means, okay, when you buy a license of a standard, it only come with the process designer. With process designer, you can build your complete process, but it does not have support integration designer, means you cannot have all the adapters. Okay, so in that case, if you want to integrate with any custom service, okay, if you want to integrate any not custom service, any third-party tool, so you have to uh, use your own custom jar files, and then you have to integrate. There's no support to
Hi friends,
integration
in
designer
this
in this.
IBM BPM tutorial,
BPM Advanced comes with both
we are going to learn
process designer
about the basic,
plus
what is the
integration
business
designer.
process management.
Okay,
We will also see what
IBM
are the
BPM Express,
benefits when we
okay,
use
it comes
any
only with
automation
process
tool
designer.
such as a IBM BPM, and when we develop some custom Java
Okay,
program
okay, but
for
cannot use
creation of workflow. After
for
that, we will
commercial
also see
purpose.
what are the industry-wide BPM
Okay,
tools.
so it can
Then we
only be
will
used,
see how
it can only
IBM
be used
provides
for training
licensing
purpose.
in BPM, like there are different type of
Okay,
licensing are there.
BPM advanced,
And then at the last,
it
we will
can be used
see
because it
architecture
has
of
process
IBM
designer plus
BPM.
integration designer. You can use for the commercial purpose, everything you can develop with this.
Thank you.
Okay, and this
This is
also
the
can use for the
tutorial
commercial
which
purpose.
is taken from one of
This
my
tool
class,
Express
and
has a limitation.
normally
Even if it
don't
is used for
prefer
the
to go
training
through
purpose,
any sort
it
of
you
PPT, so
cannot
we
cluster,
haven't used
because
any
in
PPT
cluster
in this
you don't need to
tutorial.
support a large
So it's
production
quite big and lengthy
use
one.
case, so
So in
no
future we will share
clustering
similar
support.
tutorial. Thank you.
Okay, these two will support for the clustering, server clustering. Okay, so these are the three different licensing. Whenever we work in BPM, we can check whether what sort of licensing it is having, whether standard licensing or advanced licensing or express licensing. You can check it over here. As we saw, if you can over here, all programs and IBM, here you can say BPM Advanced 8.5. Okay, so it means it's a advanced licensing. Same way, if it is a standard licensing, it will say as a BPM standard 8.5. Okay, so we discussed about till now. We discussed about this thing, um, licensing also. Now the next thing come over here, the architecture. Okay, so in architecture we will see. Okay, let me just explain you over here. Whatever we have discussed, it will be like this. We will discuss architecture in more detail. This is called as a process center. Process center works in two ways. It works as a repository for all the business process. Okay, and it also works as a runtime environment. Runtime environment for BP, business process. Okay, so both things you can do it using the process center. So you can run process also here, and you can also store processes. So since you are storing process, so of course BPM should be using some sort of a internal database. So that is correct. BPM has internal databases. Okay, so normally BPM uses DB2 internal database, DB2 database, but you can have, normally it will use DB2, but you can have other internal, it's an internal database to just store the business process. You can have the MySQL or SQL Server also. You can integrate with them also. You can use these also in internal database. Fine. So process center is nothing. It works for the repository and it works for the running the business process. Process designer is the place where this is the process designer. Okay, we call as a PD. Okay, so suppose I've connected multiple PD and IID. IID is called as a integration designer. Okay, or IBM IID, both we can say. So this both PD and IID will be connected to process center like this. IID will only come with the advanced version, as we already discussed. Okay, so normally what happens, process center will be installed in some different machine. Okay, and process designer is the place where people will work, different developer will work. Okay, so each developer will have access to process designer, but that process designer will be connected to the process center. Okay, because in the process center all the processes are stored. Okay, and this connection between PD to process center, it is a tight integration. What do you mean by tight integration? Tight integration means it is not the way in the project. If you see, we will have Eclipse in Java development projects. We will have Eclipse. We will have some sort of a repository like CVS repository, and we will have some sort of a server. Okay, like as a WebLogic or Tomcat server. Similar way, same architecture over here. The PD is in place of Eclipse. This is in place, process center in place of CVS or SVN. Okay, and then you have the, for running the application, rather than using the Tomcat and all, here it is a process server which is connected. Okay, the difference is there, if you want to work, every time you will check out your project from repository to your local workspace. You will develop in your local workspace, and again you will do checkout to the repository. Okay, so normally it takes a lot of time. So to avoid that, what people have thought in BPM, they thought why we should do like this. This PD, everybody should work directly to the repository. When everybody will work directly to the repository, then that time, check-in in and check-in out time, we can reduce. Because in last, what was happening, I checked out some project, and now I'm working in between, somebody else has checked in, now I'm going for again checking in, then again I have to merge all those changes, and then I have to check in. It takes a lot of time. But here, how things are happening, it's like everybody is working in the same process. So how thing means, so here there's no checking in, no checkout, it's tight integration. So it means if your process center, and here process center is also as a runtime environment, means whatever the processes you are developing over here, same process you can directly run from process center itself. So it means process center has internally a database also, and process center internally, as we can see, it has a internally it has the process server also. Okay, because it is running a process also. So now, okay, if your process server, because a server, if your process server out, I can say, if process center is down, okay, if process center is down, you cannot work in business process. Because if otherwise, I can say, if your connection is not working from PD to process center, you cannot see any process, because there is no local workspace. There is no concept of local workspace in process designer. So your workspace will be created in the process center, which might be a different machine. Even if it is in the same machine also, okay, it's a different place where the process, all the processes are stored. From PD, you have to make a connection. That will be a web service connection. So somehow this connection is not working. Somehow your server is down. Okay, you cannot see any process. Okay, so that is the we will look into all these things when we will go to the lab. Same way, different developer will have. So as a developer, I will have only access to process designer. I will not have access to any other thing. Okay, process. So that process designer, from that process designer, I will connect to the process center. Okay, IID is still using the Eclipse. Okay, so here it's not a tight integration. I will say it's a loose integration. Okay, loose integration means it works in the same way, checking in and checking out projects. Okay, so at every time you will check in projects and you will check out projects, similar way what we do. Okay, now process center has internal process server, so you can run your process, but sometimes you want to have different servers, like I say, test server or a production server. So those servers you can connect from process center. Okay, so I can give as a test process server. Same way I can say as a production server. Okay, fine. So this architecture is clear to us. Now let's talk about, there are many web-based URL to access these things. Okay, so those web-based URL I can say over here. One web-based URL is called as a, I will connect over here. We call this as a process center URL. Process center URL. Okay, the URL will be your host name. It could be your local host. Port number, normally port number is 9080, and then you just need to write process center. Okay, same way, host name where it is hosted, HTTP. Okay, this host name. Okay, what is the work of process center? What process center URL does? So as the name itself says, process center URL will give you how many processes are there in process. It will give you a visibility to the process center, how many processes are in process center. Okay, it helps you to create a new process, it helps to delete processes. Okay, it helps to give access to the process to different users. Okay, so it helps to create versions of the process, different versioning of the process. It helps to connect different servers to this process. Okay, so all those things will be done using the process center URL. Then you have another URL that is called as a process portal URL. So name it here also same thing, HTTP. Okay, host name I can use a localhost if it is same thing, localhost 9080. Okay, and then just you need to give process center and center. Okay, it will come. Okay, so what it does, process center, when at the starting of our demo we saw BPM gives you a consistent URL where all the people can work. So that URL is called as a process portal. Means all the business users should log into process portal, and here only they can complete their work. Okay, so this is the process center. Then the third URL is called as a process admin. So I can also see over here. So process admin, again, it's a name itself says it is used for the administration purpose. Process admin. So whatever the processes are running, okay, in the existing process, if you want to do some administration sort of job, whatever the process is running, I want to stop process, I want to terminate a process, I want to look into the process, which particular activity the process is there. Okay, anything related to process, if you want to do any administration job, runtime, if you want to make any changes, that you will be doing using the process admin. Okay, apart from that, uh, as we know, process server runs on top of a vast web server application server. So it has one more URL that is called as a normal web server admin console. Okay, so here we can say HTTP. Okay, localhost you can say, and 9080 and IBM console. So if you see over here, so this is the almost all the things. Okay, so if you see over here, process designer. Okay, a similar way here, if you once it is installed, this is the integration designer. It is based on Eclipse. Okay, then if you come over here you can see all these URLs here. Go over here, and I think its server is not started yet. Let me see. Okay, it started. Okay, so here you can see all these URLs. Okay, webshare process admin console. Okay, then you have the business process central console, process portal, process admin, okay, and webshare application server admin console. So all those things we can see over here. And when we will go for the normal class, okay, then we will discuss all these things in more detail. Thank you. This is the tutorial which is taken from one of my class, and normally don't prefer to go through any sort of PPT, so we haven't used any PPT in this tutorial. So it's quite big and lengthy one. So in future we will share similar tutorial. Thank you.